Hello everyone! For dinner tonight, I will be making pork knuckle and Spanish fried rice. Let's talk about the pork knuckle. There are many places where you can buy pork knuckles depending on whether you want to use fresh or frozen ones. I've always bought frozen ones from the supermarket because they are just easier to prepare. After thawing the knuckle, I rinsed it with water and set aside. In a large pot, I added enough water, making sure the whole knuckle would be submerged in the water. To the water, I added the following ingredients. First of all, 50 ml of Chinese wine. Any type of Chinese wine will do. Next, 1 tablespoon of white pepper. Since I ran out of whole pepper, I've used grinded white pepper instead. Next, I added in 2 to 3 bay leaves, fresh or dried. Last but not least, ginger as well. Now guys, don't use the whole thing here. 4 to 5 slices should do the trick. Some people like to keep the skin of the ginger and some would prefer not to. Either way, wash it nicely and cut it into thin slices. Sounds like a lot of work? Well, there are many ways in preparing this dish, and this is just the way I like to prepare mine. In Chinese cooking, anytime that pork is used, these ingredients are used to get rid of the porky smell. When the water boils, the knuckle will go in for 1 hour on medium-low with the lid on. I flip the knuckle periodically to prevent the skin from sticking to the bottom of the pot. It has been an hour and this is what it looks like. At this time, you can either take the knuckle out or you can keep the knuckle in the pot with the heat off, lid on, so that the meat will be more tender. This time round, I left the knuckle in the pot until it was time to put it in the oven. Remember, don't throw away the broth because you can use it to make other things. In this case, I will be adding the broth to the Spanish rice. Put the pork knuckle into a baking pan. Before you put it into the oven, poke holes on the skin of the entire knuckle using a fork. This will make the skin a lot more crunchier. At this time, you can add in herbs, black pepper, or mustard, whatever you fancy. With my previous knuckles, some were smeared with Dijon mustard and others were baked with black beer. This time round, I've just sprinkled some black pepper on it. So, the knuckle will go into the oven at 180 degrees. Since the knuckle is already cooked, you just want to bake the knuckle on high to get the skin to be crispy and crunchy. Moving on to the Spanish fried rice. Before anyone criticizes that Spanish rice is not cooked in such a way, let me make it clear that I called it Spanish fried rice because it is made with Spanish rice. These are the ingredients I've used. Some fresh prawns, which I had deveined, some minced garlic, half a can of tomato paste, leftover broth from the pork knuckle, and of course Spanish rice. But of course you can use whatever rice you have. In a pan, heat up some oil, then add in the minced garlic. When the garlic had turned to a light brown color, add in the rice. Make sure that you have enough oil or the rice will stick to the bottom of the pan. Stir until everything is nicely incorporated. At this time, add in the broth and the tomato paste. If you want, you can also add some fresh tomatoes, veggies, or herbs as well. Make sure the broth covers the rice and put the lid on at low heat. Check the rice constantly to make sure the rice does not dry up. Add in more broth or water if needed. Once the rice reaches the texture that you wanted, add in the prawns and cook until the prawns turn color and curl up. If you fancy, you can also add in some squids, mussels, or clams.
燒肉咩？
好似燒肉咁脆喎，索索聲係嘛啲聲，好似切燒豬咁啊！
Thank you for watching. Feel free to share your ideas with me in the comments. Please subscribe, like, and press the notification button. See you next time.